Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see by my background, today we finally get to do the plant tour. I was really adamant about learning their names because it would just come off as
this one is big. This one is long.
So now I feel like I could actually give like a real plant tour and not make it seem a little kindergarten, if you know what I mean. I do admire my plants a lot. It's almost like therapy when I get to take care of them. It's just always calming. Something I definitely look forward to every week. So we're gonna start off with my Nepenthes alata. I just call it the pitcher plant. When I first got it, I treated it just like my other plants, which was like a big mistake, and this is the result of it. But this one's doing pretty well, and I've been taking care of this one right here. It requires a lot of humidity, which I did not think about when I was buying it, but it is a beautiful plant. And there's actually, yeah, this one's greedy. There's a lot of bugs in there, and water has to be kept in here like at all times. And I call it my bougie plant because it takes distilled water rather than regular pipe water. But yeah, it's growing really tall. I think it was, I don't know, I haven't gotten any new one of these. I don't know what they're called, pitchers, but it's definitely growing. And if you look at the tips, you can see all of these. They want to produce more of those pictures. So every time I make over a room, I bless it with a new plant. And this was the plant that I chose for this room. It was literally like right here when I bought it. I'm gonna go ahead and remove it so you guys could get like a full view without the window. This is my golden pothos. Literally it was like right here. It grew a lot, I think during fall and winter. This is honestly, I don't like to label plants as my favorite because I feel like they'll start dying. So, but this is honestly one of my favorite plants. My first time removing it since I put it there from the makeover. So it's really heavy. And the marbling on the leaves are like absolutely beautiful. You'll find some really, what I consider big leaves compared to the smaller ones, but it's trailing really well. On the windowsill, I have smaller plants. This is my philodendron silver sword. I do have it in a self-watering pot. I think it's been in there for like 2 weeks now, and it's doing really, really well. And these I got from Amazon. There was a 5th leaf up here, but I usually keep the humidifier up here just because this requires a lot of humidity, and it actually fell yesterday and knocked off one of the leaves on here, which is right here. Time will tell. And we have the Hoya carnosa compacta, also known as the Hindu rope, and I think it's just a gorgeous plant. It was growing all wrinkly at one point, and then after doing my research, I realized it was just dehydrated. So when I was watering it, the water would just run straight through. So I put some moss on top of it, and it's actually been doing extremely well. I think it grew about 2 inches since I've gotten it, or more, probably more, but it's actually doing so much better than before. This is the peperomia hoe. Oops. What really caught me was this piece right here. I really was like, maybe it's a trailing plant as well, but the leaves are pretty thick. Just think it's a really beautiful plant. I'm really excited to see how it's gonna look when it grows out. And I'm a sucker for string plants. I literally want like every version. Right now I only have the strings of turtle, which is this one, and the hearts. See some of the leaf designs on there. And my last plant over here. Tradescantia bubblegum. This plant is so beautiful. It looks so good when the sun is just like right there. That is a gorgeous plant. I really like the coloring on it. Actually, when we bought it, we put it in the back seat and my toddler used it as a step stool. So this was one of the results from him stepping on it. And then we have my floor plants, and I'm gonna start off, is this an alocasia? It's an alocasia. I really like this leaf. This is the newest leaf, and this kind of came like that. so I usually just remove the crunchy parts. I don't know. It's a satisfying feeling. I don't know if that's a good thing. And we have my ponytail palm. And I was reading like last week too that these are actually not palm trees, which makes sense because it's actually living for me and I'm really bad with palms, but it's actually a succulent. So that was a really nice surprise to know. And then on this little table that I got from Five Below, we have the Oxalis triangularis. And it kind of reminds me of like butterflies. I don't know why. I guess when I'm looking at it from like a certain view, it kind of gives like butterfly vibes. But they open up during the day and they close up at night. It wasn't doing well for me in the previous pot, but it is thriving in this one. Didn't get all the roots covered, but it's so sensitive when I was repotting it, so I don't plan to touch it anytime soon. And this beauty over here is actually my very first plant. It's the Monstera deliciosa. Literally every time I hear that name I think delicious monster. But this is my delicious monster, and yeah, we've been through a lot. I got it 3 years ago. Did extremely well at the last house. It was beautiful. When we moved here it was like gnat infested. So it got a lot of those, and I put it outside. I put it outside to die, and I don't know why I did that, but it started thriving. It was big. It had leaves bigger than I've ever seen since having it, and then so I brought it back inside. Then it got infested again, and I panicked and just like cut it down to the stump, and just planted the stump, and I think it was like last month, this piece started growing out, and then recently it put out this leaf. So I'm really happy that it didn't give up on me, because clearly I gave up on it by putting it outside to die. But I'm really, really excited. So my very, very first plant, 3 years old. And in this little pot are my ear plants. These are Tillandsia horicii. They remind me of ponytails, so I just call her Ponytail. But there's this one. I also have another ear plant. This is the Tillandsia zeographica. So we have this one. This one I see a lot. I've seen some really big ones, and I think they are just absolutely beautiful. And I like that it's not in soil. If I could just have plants that don't require soil, I'd be really happy, because I don't like insects, I don't like bugs, they freak me out. This one actually needs watering. This piece right here is like drying up, but I just soak it in water for like 5 minutes. But back here we have I just call it the Chinese evergreen. I actually don't know the botanical name for it. I move my plants around until I find the perfect spot that works for it, but the leaves are just, I don't know. This spot works for it. It's actually been doing better since being in this little corner. We have a few new leaves coming in, so it's still thriving, you know. It just looks a little busted, but it's doing so much better than before. Alright, I have my handy dandy phone here because I do not know the names for them. Oh gosh, man down. Oh no. Alright, so this is the whale fin. Like I said, it's very solid plant. But I really like this. Like on this side, it's like really dark, flat, not much. And then this side has more texture vibes. So I really like that. So there's that. And then this one's actually my favorite. It's so beautiful. It reminds me of my sister. Like, if my sister was a plant, this is what she'd look like. She has freeform locks. She's very like Afrocentric. So every time I look at this plant, I think about my sister. Very beautiful. This is a starfish sansevieria. Like everybody has that one shirt and they're like, yeah, I need one in every color. That's me with these sansevierias. And then I have the moonshine, which as you could see, it's very much different from like the regular sansevierias because of the lack of. And this one actually sits in my husband's office. Very simple. That's what I was going for, and I really like that. It's just elegant and like sleek, and I really like the design of it. As in like, you know, the lack of design. This is the black coral. I guess this looks a little light on camera, but once you go down on the leaves, on this section, it's like really dark leaves, and the black coral, they have very, very dark leaves, such as this one. So I'm not really sure what's going on with these. So I'm like a sucker for cacti and succulents, so this is my little collection over here. So this is my Stapedia grandiflora. It's very rubbery. This is the starfish. I've learned to take care of it. There are moments where it's literally like sagging and drooping, and that's when I noticed like, okay, maybe I should add a little bit more water to it. This is a moon cactus, and I have 3. There's also one in the living room, which is a yellow one. So pink, red, and yellow. And over here is my chocolate soldier, or the Chloe tomentosa. I think I said that right. So like if you look at the edges around the plant, you'll see that it's like a similar color to chocolate. It's pretty brown. The leaves were open more when I bought it, so I'm pretty sure I'm not doing something right. And I had my niece come over and she played chomp chomp alligator with a pair of scissors. So she left a little memory for me on that plant. And this is my Thanksgiving cactus. Like if I picture an actual cactus deflated with absolutely no air, this is the result that I would picture in my mind. So this is it. I think it's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna butcher this name because I don't know how to say it. I did practice, like I literally practiced before I started filming. This is the Haworthiopsis, another Haworthia fasciata. So I think this one is this the flower? I don't know. But it showed up a few days ago. I think it's pretty cool. This random thing sticking out of it. Absolutely beautiful. I really like the plant, and when you feel it, it'll feel like it'll make a good item to like massage with, like the texture of it. I really like that. And I found this in Whole Foods. I literally bought it because it reminds me of a green pepper, so I thought it was pretty cool. Let's see if the name is on it because I don't know the name of this one. No name. I'll have it up on the screen for you guys, and the same for this. This one is very prickly. So, oh, okay. So this is just cactus. All right. And then I showed you guys this sansevieria already. I have my string of hearts behind here. I'm a little ashamed of it. Still learning how to care for it. I've had it for a few weeks now. But you know, when you read online, when you're trying to take care of a plant, you get like different stories for each person. So I kind of have to find my own. I did have it in my room where all the other plants were. So I'm going to try it out here. It's a bit brighter. It is growing. It just looks weird to me. It's not what I see on YouTube. So I'm just waiting for that YouTube moment where it's just like trailing beautifully. Ah, God. Okay, this is another succulent. Don't know the name of this one either. Like, I'm a horrible plant mom as far as names, but it has grown tremendously. And then above all my succulents and cacti, I have my hanging beauties. These 3 are all the same plants. This, and that. I took it from the mother plant and just separated it into 3 because I really wanted them up here. But they have grown a lot. And these were also for the dining room makeover. These are golden pothos. So this was actually the first plant in my house that I've named. And what did I name it? Oh, okay. Sweet Pea. I did have to split her up into 2, so her other half is actually in the living room. But she is just absolutely beautiful. I am gonna repot her soon. And this is a moss ball pot. So I'm gonna put her and her other half back together and we're gonna put it in this moss ball pot. I think that should look beautiful because I feel, yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite plants, which is why I'm like a little that I'm not doing so well with the string of hearts, because I just love how beautiful they are. Like I want each string of whatever, like I just want a collection of them. This I got from Whole Foods over a year ago. I thought it was thyme and it wasn't, so I just made it a hanging plant and I stopped taking care of it, and I think it still looks beautiful in its dry form, so I just leave it. It's actually, I feel like this is decaying with the plant because part of it ripped, which is why it's at an angle. Alright, and now it's time to go to the floor of the dining room. So I completely forgot about my philodendron Brazil. I was watering it. It's also a part of my hanging collection. I do water it in the shower just because, just trying to get something in here to add water. I feel like it's more work, so I usually just give it a shower. And I rotate it. Every time I water it, I switch positions. So it was hung up like this before, so I'm just gonna do the opposite and just put it up here. This plant is just absolutely beautiful. It's luscious. I really like the leaves on these, especially when it has those little dips in the leaves and it creates like this little cup at the bottom. Sometimes I just play around with it and just push it down to create that cup. I think it's really cute. But yeah, I like the contrast in colors. I like that it has different variations of like the yellowing. So it's almost like each plant, each leaf is unique, but not really, but still beautiful. And I like the pink stems that it has going on. Absolutely beautiful. This was my second plant actually. I got it a few months after I got my Monstera, and it literally has been strong since day one. Very beautiful plant. I'm really surprised it's not as long as the one in my room, seeing that the one in my room is a little over a year old and this is about 3. But I do have the clay balls in here. It's not completely, it's just covering the topsoil. I think it looks aesthetically pleasing, so I just added it in there. But yeah.
This is a Eric cactus.
What does it look
Like a roller coaster.
like? And this is my painted lady philodendron. I really like the stems of this plant just because it reminds me of my Brazil. Like they both have this same similar pinkish color as they grow. And I really like the leaves. I like that they're so long, very beautiful. Beautiful plant overall actually. That's what really caught my eye. Is the different shape. Most of the plants that I have, their leaves are pretty short or wide or thick. So I really like that this brings some contrast to them. It's really beautiful. I eventually want to propagate it just because I think it's like a very beautiful plant. I just have to do my research before I start chopping away. And she lives right here on the table. She's been doing extremely well right here in this location. So I don't really know where else to put it. So this is just where it lives for now. And we have this little guy over here. I think it's a Dracena deremensis. That's just my guess. I've been trying to find the name forever, but every time I like search it, it's giving me a completely different plant. Then I moved it into my living room and it threw the biggest tantrum. So that's where these brown spots are. If you guys could see them, there's a lot of browning in the center. Like, it was really struggling in my living room. So it kind of left a scar on him. But then I moved it back over in this location, very shaded area. And that's where all this new growth is coming from. And you can definitely see where it stands out because this is just like there and these are like coming out. But it's growing so well right here. This reminds me of the top of a pineapple. I think those are really beautiful. So very beautiful plants. Oh, this is my palm. This is the second palm. I've had a first one that did not make it past a month in this house, and then I had a third one and it just shriveled up. I know why it died, but you know, probably won't make that mistake again. So this is the middle child and it's been doing really well right here, but this is definitely thriving. I'm really happy. I really want a palm tree in my house just because I'm from Florida, and it just, I don't know, makes me think of Florida. So that's why I'm like really adamant about keeping one alive. So the middle child is doing really, really well. Self-watering pot, and I think it prefers that. That's the first palm I put in a self-watering pot, and it's the only palm that has been thriving. So maybe that was the answer all along. I don't know. And over here we have my very large Adansonii. This is where I got those clippings that are in my bedroom that I'm propagating. Yeah, it's, I don't know. I feel like it gives me a lot of trouble. All the leaves, they always look like they're struggling. I mean, the majority are pretty healthy, but they're either not coming out all the way, they have yellowing. I don't know, maybe it's just too full in there. Maybe I just need to separate them into like 3 different plants. I do eventually want it to like trail. I don't want to prop it up on anything. And this plant is my stromanthi trio star. This requires a lot of humidity too, which I was not giving it in the beginning, and it has had several different locations in this house, and I feel like it's doing the best right here. Yeah, I really like the leaves on this one too. This, what colors would you call this? This burgundy-ish deep purple, and then the front, I don't know. It's just like those paintings that you see online of like leaves. I feel like this captures it really well. Alright, and this is my philodendron Birkin. I don't know what's going on over here. It looked like some weird type of birth is going on. I don't know if the leaf is stuck, but it looks a little painful in there. But yeah, the leaves on this one caught my eye. I like things that stand out, but I also like to like find balance in my plants. I don't know why this one is so white. Look at this one. It's such a beautiful leaf in this one. It's just like art, you know? Plant to me is like art, and you find so many different versions, so many different styles, so many different strokes. It's just beautiful. Nature is just so beautiful. And then we enter my living room, which is the final spot of the house. I like trailing plants. I just can't put much of it in my living room. I like a minimal amount of plants in this space, just to not make it feel like crowded or overwhelming. But my bedroom's a different story. I could create like a whole jungle in there. So if I feel like the space is looking too crowded in here, I do move the plants into my bedroom. I feel like there's no limit in my bedroom, but out here I just like, I don't know, I like less in open spaces. So right here is my ivy, and I'm hoping that it will just take over this entire fireplace. I think that would look absolutely beautiful. And this is a fern. Oh no, it's starting to brown. I've had a fern before and it died. I feel like the plants they say are the easiest. I find a way to just kill it. But it's probably because this one isn't getting enough moisture. But it's also, I think it's a low light plant. But it definitely doesn't get enough moisture over here, so I should probably move it into my bedroom. Yeah, I think I'll move it into my bedroom. Before I go back to the living room, I don't want to forget this little spot. This is my hallway, and I also have some ivies in this location too. I don't like my home, but this one seems to be doing better than the previous ones. This was one I just separated into two different pots, and hopefully the goal for this one is for it to just grow super long so I could like decorate the wall with it. I think that would be awesome. And we are gonna move over here to my delicious monsters. I could literally have these in every single room. I just know they won't survive. I know they won't survive. I wish they could just grow in any condition because I absolutely love these plants. Monstera deliciosa. I know I said delicious monster. That's literally what I call them in my head. But the fenestration on these are absolutely beautiful. I like when he has the fenestrations in the middle. It reminds me of like Mardi Gras, like the mask. So these are like peak holes, eye holes. Okay, maybe it looks like a ski mask. I don't know, but it's just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful plant. So this is my toddler's plant. We took a trip and I was like, you get to pick out your first plant today. And this is what he chose. Why did you choose this plant, Poppy?
Because it's small.
Yeah, I'm gonna add some moss on top. And this is my big baby. Might end up putting a moss pole on this one. I just really like the wide look though. I don't know what my alternatives are yet. But very beautiful. And the fenestrations on this one too is gorgeous.
It's the prayer plant.
Do you know why it's called a prayer plant?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it wants to.
Oh, because it just wants to?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a prayer plant. I looked up why it's called that way. At night it falls down as if it's praying, but to me it's in that position all the time, so I don't know. And during the day it's supposed to like sit up, I guess. But I like that it's bending over. We do have a few browning down here. I'm still trying to get into the spring groove of watering. Sorry, I told you this is like, I don't know, satisfying to me. I don't know if it's healthy for the plant. I just like to use my finger and pick off the brown part. I like the sound that it makes. But yeah, we have some flowering right here, and we have some new growth coming in. It's doing really well in this location, so I did put it here when I was doing like a living room refresh, but I'm going to leave it here. And this is the other moon cactus that I was talking about, the yellow one over there. And over here we have my other half of sweet pea. This plant, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So beautiful. I feel like it looks like here. I can't wait to like, I don't know. Maybe down in the future I'll find the perfect pot for it. For them, since they're getting back together. And right behind it is another bird of paradise. Yeah, this one is I was actually supposed to throw this one out because we changed it in winter. We tried repotting it in winter and oops, ooh, it's fragile. Yeah, we tried repotting it in winter and it literally just, it hated every second of it, and I was like, yeah, that was probably a really bad choice while it's like freezing outside. So literally this was the best looking leaf and I wanted to keep it as a memory, but this was the best looking leaf. They all literally like, they went into shock and the whole thing just, I thought it died, and it was actually sitting in the corner of my bedroom. And last week I noticed these leaves growing out and I was like in complete shock because I was planning to throw this plant out when it got warmer. So again, my plants are trying really hard not to give up on me, and I really appreciate that about them. They're really forgiving, and it's just teaching me a lot. You learn a lot when you have so these look like it's gonna be big. This plant overall was way bigger than this one. It was sitting really tall, so I'm really glad it, sorry, this is a really bad habit. I should probably really stop that. I don't know. But yeah, I'm really excited to see these come in. When these grow out, I'll eventually cut this one off. My best looking plant after it was traumatized. So I moved it out of my bedroom and put it in light. So hopefully that does something. I was just really surprised that it was growing in the corner of my room. Such a dark spot. And this guy here is my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. So with my delicious monsters, I love seeing the fenestrations, but it's not always promise, you know, depending on like the light conditions. But these I feel like is a promise. You'll always get a leaf. And just so you guys have a good idea of how tall it is. I am 5'9", I believe. So we'll be twins soon. Height twins. I don't think it'll take much longer. Like I said, it grows really fast. Really, really fast. So that's that. This one right here, it actually flowered a few weeks ago and I was able to capture it. You can see some leftover on the plants right here, but I was like, oh my gosh. Like I was so excited when I saw it. I was like, when did this happen? Because I don't come up here often. So when I did, I was so happy. Because, oh my gosh. Like if it could do that again for me, I'd be really, really happy. It was so beautiful. Like I said, plants, they're just like, it's like living artwork, you know? They give, they take away. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful, unexpected joy. And this one was on my plant wish list for a while. I watched Summer Rain's videos and I saw this plant and I was like, oh my gosh, I need it. And then I walk into Home Depot and there's some sitting right in front of me and oh my gosh. My reaction was a little over the top, but definitely worth it. This is a Euphorbia trigona rubra. Euphorbia trigona. But that is it for my plant tour. Let me know which plant was your favorite. Hopefully I said the name okay. I was really nervous coming in. Felt like I was about to do a vocabulary exam on plants that I did not study for. But I did study for it. I just wasn't confident. But hopefully I did okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, leave your favorite plant in the comment. I will see you guys in my next one.